Okay, this is a quick weathering tutorial. Don't know if it's going to come out very well or not. Okay, so I've basically given the back of the Droid an even, well, uneven really, dusting of all the colours that I have available. So, first of all, it's this product here, Dirty Down. It's a special effects industry weathering agent. Okay, it's water soluble. It's a strange old beast. It's like a dry spray, I suppose. Goes on very, very fine, almost like a mist, opposed to like a spray can. Okay, so I started off with a black, then moved on very light with the black, then moved on to the dark brown in just random spraying, and then I've got a slightly lighter brown which is called Ash Blonde. Okay, and I picked this one up. This was quite a good little product. Same sort of thing. Model Mates weathering spray, oily brown. This leaves a sort of a wet brown look, pretty much just like oil. It's great. It's a nice little finishing product on there. Great colour, pretty much. Colour on there, sort of a browny, greeny, grey. Doesn't know what it wants to be really. But nice little picture of Thomas the Tank Engine on the front. Okay, so anyway, so you give it a dusting. I don't know if this will pick up the spray, but kind of you have to get quite close for it to actually lay down onto the surface. Okay, so it's not water based product, but it's water soluble. So here is the patchwork quilt of just randomly spraying, no technique or anything like that, basically just laying on the colours one by one. So black first, as I say, as a base, very, very light black, because it does look a bit false, I find, black on weathering. Then over the top, kind of mixing it up with this with the dark brown, as I say, and then over the top of that with Ash Blonde, and then over the top of that with the smaller can. That's where you see the darker patches. And then moving up here, all I've done is just used my breath basically just to take it all back off again, but leaving where I felt where I feel like dirt would collect. Okay, so again, no technique, just as you go and as you feel, taking it back off. Now this is kind of just the first rub off. It's very, very streaky, but that's fine. It should come off quite well. So I don't know if this will show on the video. So if I kind of just blow or huff onto the product, it comes off quite well. So, on there, and then you get quite a very random and unique sort of what's left. See, so here we've got some lighter material left, and then we've got the main sort of residue left, so you start to get some quite nice sort of little patterns emerging, you see. So sort of down there, and then basically, so what I'm going to do is pretty much take off all of this from the back of the Droid. Okay, so all I'm doing is basically just blowing or huffing onto the onto the surface. And as you see, it comes off. The cloth is just a dry cloth or dry towel. So if I rub along there, so as areas start to dry off, or the moisture disappears quicker before you can get to it, the more, so it leaves some sort of quite cool little lines. Camera's not picking it up very well actually. Okay, so now the front of the Droid I've kind of finished as much as I want it finished. So this is the sort of effect that you end up with. See, so what I've done is try to create a kind of a clean look, as if someone had attempted to give it a quick wipe or a clean over, but then of course what it does is leave residue. So I've gone to leave some nice dark inner lines there, up where the dirt would run and collect at the bottom there, you see, and at the bottom of the Droid where you kind of picking up more dirt than you would normally, and then all over is what I've done, I've finished it with a very very fine misting of the colours involved. And this is what I was saying about that oily effect on there. Now what I did, I sprayed really really close, so it sort of pooled as it were, and it sort of started to run, and then I took some of it off again, but you get a sort of a real good sort of oily look and effect. This film's turning round, so I can show you the front. I'll just move round the front. Dry there. This is no David Bailey camera work. Gone around the other way really. Okay. So here I've gone very close and then kind of started to take it off again. I've got a stain, random stain there. Yeah, we're running down, and then I've kind of created here sort of an oily patch, and then you can see what was left from, possibly, I can't remember now, but that might have been the initial spray over. So you leave some on, put another layer on, take that off, take it off completely if you're not happy with it. Again here, and what I've also found, say again here, we've got different thicknesses of the material, all the dirty down. Here we've got kind of a nice watermark sort of left. So it creates a really nice effect. quite a natural effect, I think, rather than this wishy-washy acrylic effects. So it is actually, it's very there's a lot of particles involved in it, so it's not like a solid colour. I don't know if the camera can pick that up, but it's so it's quite very fine grain, so you can see the different layers. And what it also does is just stain the original white or semi-white, so you do get a, you know, that grounding dirt. So barring a polish, it stains the material. Now what I've also done, what I also use, is a little bit of wire wool. Now that helps smooth out any dodgy paintwork that you may have had in the past, but what it also does is it gives you a very controllable removal of the dirty down. So you can, if you rub hard, obviously more comes off. And this is very fine grain wool, by the way, so it doesn't leave any marks as such or scratches. So it's almost works the same as wet and dry, taking any excess overspray off. Now I don't know whether I can. I'll just spin it around quickly again to this area. As I say, I'm very confident with the stuff now, so but I just want to try and give you an example. So if I use this area here, so this is virtually a solid colour, but if you rub very softly or harder, just as the mood takes you, really. But then of course, so that's so if I leave that there and then vary stroke from left to right. If I do this panel, so it would be kind of clean through the middle. Okay, and then as I say, it just leaves various bits, and then even on this streaky area, if you start to take that off, I'm going a bit harder on here, because what the moisture does also is it kind of pushes in the pigment into the colour, into the you know, original white. But I don't like this streaky effect that you kind of get. Oh, well, as I say, you want it kind of as random as possible. So there you go. So it kind of starts to get rid of that streaking effect, as if someone has actually got a rag and tried to give him a good clean. On there. Right, and then what you do to marry all your patchy areas and what have you together, you need to knit them all together, you know, to give a little bit, although you've got random weathering, you just give it a dusting over. what happens. Yeah, so it's a shame that it's not picking it up very well. But as I say, yeah, so you got your slightly heavier weathered areas, lighter weathered areas. It all starts to marry together. So, you know, there's no hard and fast rule on how dirty or not you want it to look. But I still feel that the main colour should always appear white. It was white once. It's got a story to tell in the old weathering there. So this side here, on the inside for instance, that's just my initial blast over with the colour. And then on this side, you see, so the dirt has kind of gathered at the top, and sort of running from the bottom there as well, down in the recesses, hard to get to places. It's left in place. It weathers metal quite well as well. Yeah, so that's pretty much it really. Running down to the foot area. That'll tend to catch a lot of the overspray as well, so sometimes it will go quite heavy. Good old denting on the corner. Running into that area there.